Hi there everyone, welcome to the Wyckoff weekly live update. So we're looking at the Hedera weekly chart, and as usual that's the starting point. And before getting into the details, these sessions are not financial advice and therefore education and research purpose only. Let's get into the detail. So last week green candle, this week much smaller, is more like a cross, and there's only roughly 26 hours left. In terms of Wyckoff, we have seen another sign of weakness after this LPSY. So the current rebound, it's or can be treated as another LPSY before the full retreat. So if we compare to last time, we see multiple LPSYs before the price falls back to the accumulation zone. So that's the current big picture. And in terms of volume, we can see, if I expand this, we can see over here this week the volume is much lower than what we'd have last week, much less, I would say. So here we can tell, like, the candle body with this much of a volume, it's more or less the same in terms of the growth or the height of the candle body. But however, this week, even though the volume seems to be roughly around 80-90% of last week, look at the body of the candlestick. It's very short. That means there are a lot of change of hands, meaning some people are actively selling while some are actively buying. So that's why it's forming some sort of equilibrium position. So if we look at this week during mid-March, it's just roughly better than like almost exactly 1 month ago. So if we look at the daily, currently the price, even though it has risen over the past 3 days, it's still within this yellow downward trending playground zone. And if we look at the volume as well, we see 4 consecutive days of declining volume. So we can argue that this is contributed or attributed to by the Easter holiday. Both weekend and Easter holiday combined contributed to this. However, we can also look at the chart over here. So over since mid-March, I would say, except this outlier period, the price has been bouncing or like the volume has been declining whenever the price got close to the top edge. So if we look at February, it was less obvious, but in March we see the volume has been declining by looking at the body length of the candlesticks. So this time, without an exemption, it's like showing the same pattern. So going back to like combining the big picture and what we see in the daily chart, be careful when the next 2-3 days the price is about to hit the top edge of the yellow box. So today is the 19th. If the price goes slowly, it may last till end of next week before it hits the top. And given Monday is also a holiday in many markets, so there may or may not be much trading activities in like the traditional exchange. Crypto exchanges, obviously they're 24/7 running, then it doesn't matter. So keep an eye on how this develops. So it may bounce off from the top and then come back down to retest the support of this long white line over here. So it tested it earlier in the beginning of this month. So that's for Hedera.